Please note that this video contains spoilers for the subject and the series and/or franchise leading up to this entry. Put off by how long this video is? Don't worry, I try to jam-pack my videos with as much content and as much detail as I possibly can. Anything I feel I can comment on and that I feel you might be interested in, I pretty much put in the video. I try not to repeat myself and talk fairly fast. I either have or will cover other parts of this franchise, and this video either is or will be linked below. I'm not going to restate here what I did or will say in the other video. These videos get long enough as it is. I've reviewed other parts of this franchise. The links are in the description box. Married with Children, Season 8, Thoughts. And let's see. There we go. Happy New Year's. Starting with intro. This is once again from, I believe, Wikipedia. This season introduces many of Al's friends, including Aaron, Bob Rooney, and Officer Dan. Though Officer Dan was not a character in the earlier seasons, the actor who played him also appeared in Rock and Roll Girls, the sheriff who issued Al a ticket for an insulting bumper sticker, and Weenie Tot Lovers and Other Strangers as the police officer who arrested Al, and the Egg and I as the FBI agent searching for Steve. He's really good at playing like, or was back then anyway, at a police officer or something that just you know, he has that level of authority whilst also being so fed up with having to do this work and with the stupid people he has to deal with. And the ridiculous cases, the specific crimes, yeah. Al, Jefferson, Bob Rooney, and Officer Dan, along with Griff and Ike, who were introduced in Season 9, all become members of No Man, National Organization of Men Against Amazonian Masterhood. And yes, I will admit that is very, very sexist. In the episode where the men fight back against the talk show host played by Jerry Springer, known as the Masculine Feminist. This is also the season where Bud joins a fraternity, and the closest explanation for Seven's mysterious disappearance for 14 months before is in the episode Ride Scare, where a close-up on a carton of milk reveals a picture of Seven with the word missing. And yeah, they simply look at it without commenting. Excuse me. And again, I did read the intro text from Wikipedia. I didn't just blindly copy it, but I read it like a month ago and didn't reread it since then. So yeah. And unrelated to review, I've quite enjoyed the College Humor Christmas series of videos. I do think their video series on The Shining is superior. And yeah, this is a pretty decent place to start. From this point on, this is political. Albeit slightly belated, I think my favorite Christmas present might be Christmas Is Here. It might be their catchiest yet, and that's saying something. I've probably watched it at least half a dozen times since it uploaded, so yeah. I completely believe that Trump does hate sweater wearers. Is there anyone he doesn't hate? And vegans, but I think most people hate them. The ones that make sure you know they're vegans, at least. And I don't doubt that he... excuse me. That he wants more chocolate cake and eats jelly beans for hours. Jelly beans are delicious. I will say, Robot Trump is nowhere near as scary as real Trump. No robot ever could be. I don't care. No, not even like the most terrifying thing cooked up by Skynet. Yeah. And there's an article that is all through College Humor on Google Plus about how the Trump presidency was predicted by The Simpsons. I'd give them more credit if they weren't hugely off on two counts. First off, the episode suggests that America still exists after Trump. Second, it suggests that there will ever be another president who isn't a Trump. Obviously, if he can't abolish term limits a la Nixon and Watchmen, he'll get one of his equally stupid, monstrous, incompetent sons elected, and on like royalty, because that's how they see themselves. Aaron. And this is straight from Wikipedia. Aaron Mitchell, the second co-owner of Al's at the shoe store, a young football star at Pope High. He is on the verge of marrying a wonderful woman and going to college, achieving everything that Al ever wanted. Al chooses to live his life vicariously through Aaron, until his misguided advice accidentally drives the boy to a woman named Meg, a young copy of Peg, and the same dismal fate which had befallen Al. Aaron appeared only in the 8th season. A Tisket, a Tasket, can Peg make a basket? And this is ranked 139, and I pretty much agree with that. And here we have a different intro for the name shots, and I think that's... yeah, I think that was a good idea, and the ones for this season are really great. I think that the one for Jefferson where he's like looking suave and staring intently and like, you know, what's it called? Card. Yeah, you know, he's got them. He's doing the thing with the cards. I don't remember what it's called. You know, once you've seen the episode where we realize that he has a past as a CIA agent, you know, that the suave kind of look kind of, yeah, takes on a slightly more sinister kind of, like he's going to be suave and then he's going to have you killed, you know. So I think that was a really good idea to change that. And I really do love that they bring that back, that wasn't a one-off joke for the one episode, as a number of things are. And I'm not saying that that's a bad idea for, yeah. I love how people keep mistaking Buck for Bud. Well, that was quite the twist ending to Al's customer story. Love you like a son. Al actually thought of the nudie bar doorman whose number is on the special speed dial under code before Jefferson. And he wasn't inviting Jefferson at all, he was just gloating. Ho ho, Pimple Stiltskin. And they really did take the cast to a game. At least some of the stuff is clearly shot at the, yeah. Well, to a stadium at least, where it, if nothing else, it's some extras running around in the actual, yeah, what's it called, uniform, yeah. Kel makes a fairly convincing Tina turn. And Danny Ainge. They missed a quarter and a half. Kel does a really great job at bat cheerleading. You know, I think I've said it before in these videos, but it does take, like, to look bad while doing, you know, physical stuff like that, it does take skill, because if you're too bad at it, you might, like, fall or bump into one of the other people involved, if there is such. And, you know, I mean, if you're just in actual bad shape, more likely you're just not going to be able to do them at all, rather than doing them poorly. You know, and sometimes doing them poorly actually is more taxing for your body than doing them properly, which is why doing them properly is what you know, people who know what they're doing do. Man, that announcer. And finally, Al just grabs him and chokes him. And she hits it when she walks off and isn't trying. Man, these early attempts at launching an X-Men franchise really took liberties with the material. Hello, Vlad. My name's Kelly. I can make you very happy. You can show me how to set my VCR? If necessary, here's my phone number. There's only 6 numbers. Well, come on, I'm not that easy. I'm really nervous. Don't be. Just remember that line from that TV commercial. Just do it? No, I was thinking let go my ego. Your dad will be home shortly looking for dinner. Tell him I hope he finds it. I'll be over at Marcy's. But Mom, you'll miss Dad's latest episode of A Fat Woman Came Into the Shoe Store today. Actually, I know how it all ends. He doesn't get the sale, or a life. Hood and the Boys. Can't remember the last time Al took me. Sure as hell wasn't at the beach. Well, would it be the first time you worked out on the beach? Jefferson, this is my story. Can't nobody tell it for me. And of course, there's the man is always right, too. Okay, I know what you're thinking. Then why aren't you crossing your legs? And he does. Al isn't gonna joke about a thing like that. Not if he can help it. He'd rather do, yeah. Well, not if we fool around together. Subtle imagery. Do not take checks from this man. That's how he's famous. Excuse me. And of course, Al judges her for no longer being a virgin, even though he supposedly cares about her and has for all these years. They had some sex. Some kids. No sex, 2 kids, $3. Not on me. And hand down his pants. That's why I said gimme. Cut myself shaving. I guess he couldn't have walked into a door from inside the room. And Al's boys are already gone. Cut. Billy, what are you four doing here? The Oki Corral. Okay, yeah, I'm alright. I'm just a little pissed. Why? Why do you do it? Because I choose to. No, I ask what? And proud to be your bud. And this is ranked 103. I'd say it definitely belongs in the top 100. I am fed out to here. This is not Norwegia, okay? And Bud looks like a cowboy. Press 61. Indiana Bundy. And some racism on some of the past personas. If you build it, he will come. He'll even accept Buck speaking to him hearing voices. Buck was right there and the price was right. When you told me to push him to the car, I probably should have put him in the stroller. That is so messed up. Okay. And Al still hasn't gotten through. And Peg had a bat behind her. Cool Bud sounds slightly like a mobster dialect-wise. If not, this recording will begin again, and then it does. Now see here, Mr. Horsey. I love Jefferson's horsey voice. And the song over credits, I'm just a lonely boy. And love the credits. I will never tire of stuff like Bud flying across the screen, Al falling from the top to the bottom of it, etc. And Al almost hangs up. And Cool Bud took over. That's creepy. I already had my pest this morning. I forget if he is just cool from now on. He's certainly bad with the ladies, but has had a good run. Maybe Faustino was getting tired of getting gypped. Yeah, I mean, playing the character that way. Certainly there are a few episodes later in this season where he's not cool, so yeah. I mean, again, it might have been just a one-off joke that just, yeah. The more sinister thing happened of the two options. Daddy says never waste electricity, and she hangs up. If you build it, it will come. If you want them to build it for you, press 1. One of my favorite episode endings of the whole show. That's so good. Like, even, you know, he's starting to, the cool version of him is also starting to try to push through, but he's so obsessed with the movie phone voice, you know, press this number kind of thing, that's how it comes through. It's, yeah. Your selections indicate you own a burnt sienna mid-century Dodge with over 90,000 miles of it. If this is correct, press 1. Hello, Mr. Bundy. Let me guess. Billy Ray Bundy? Damn straight, Missy. Country's in. Then what country are you? Now, I've chewed my weight in red, man. I've learned my country sayings like ornery and I thought she was 18. Oh, right, before Roy Moore, Republicans expected you to wait until she was least of age, or pretended to anyway. Well, as I live and barely breathe in these jeans, I'll be riding the country charts tonight. I thought I just saw Yosemite Sam leaving our house. No, that was Billy Ray Bundy. Ah, school must be starting soon. Luck of the Bundys. This is ranked 36, and yeah, it's definitely really high up there. That's nice. When they're tearing it down. Only half the raisins were actually raisins. Oh, thanks, Mom. Indecent exposure. A cop pulled me over, told me I had a tail light out. Gave me his. Words a male Bundy have never uttered. Ah, so Kel will no longer be a waitress, but a verminator once more. Where'd you meet him? Prison. Well, I give a hoot. Okay, 2 things. Of course. He does. I'm sure of it. What winnings? Except over one man's house. And... Hey, Kel, break a leg. Pass a stone. Pumpkin, exactly where did you learn to do stunts like that? In your car, ditching the police. Banking on Marcy. And this is ranked 146. And I pretty much agree with that. You'll be out of it in 7 seconds. But they want to know why I'm carrying a nail clipper. Yeah, really. Even pre-9/11 airport security, yeah. I love Kel's entire monologue about the school. And it was a Catholic school, of course. I certainly hope you keep the 75 vice presidents and lay off those 2 tellers. No, why here on Earth? No sound to us humans. This isn't your Uncle No pocket story, is it? If the buzz had functional brakes, but hello there, Selena Pfeiffer Kyle. Put more ass on that last. Sounds like a House of Pain rap or something. I guess we'll both be cooking for ourselves. Last Action Hero is underrated. Bedroom butter, better. But when it tightens, interest rates rise. Interest rates rose and rose and rose. 8%, 10%, 17%, up and up and up. Yeah, don't worry, I'm not going to try to do those lines sexy. Suddenly, the Fed began pumping in money faster and faster. I just got a lit cigarette. Check. Did that thing materialize? I hope this news was as good for you as it was for me. So that's what one looks like. We can't afford the pony rides anymore. Ah, so that part of Cruel Intentions 2 is realistic. Yeah, I'm told there's a scene like that. So to speak. I'd do it on the cornfield on Hee-Haw. 21 guns loot. New CBS lineup, audience still depressed. I just keep going and going and going. And you did. How very pie. Sorry, those 2 lines were separated. Yeah. Speaking hypothetically, a girl who thinks Urkel is sexy. Oh, well, is she in the room with us right now? Don't let us accidentally sit on her or anything. And Al and Peggy, and probably Bud. Jefferson, he's in a frat now. Probably, of course he's not. I guess she could read the phone book too and it would work. Dehydration is the enemy. It's okay, he's over 40. Why'd you have to tell them my real age? They already knew your real age. I was telling them your IQ. Then why'd you say over 40? Jefferson, have you ever seen Marcy do this before? Not in public, unless you count the Skyway tram at Disneyland. You mean she's about to have big time? It must be that hypnotherapeutic transfer thing that Dr. Angela told her about. I just hope that she's near the end of her speech. I guess not. Dr. Angela? Hi, my name is Sal Undy. I'm having a little double tray with my penis pig. No chicken, no check. And it is ranked 132nd, and I pretty much agree with that. Batteries. Good stunt fight. Holy crap, she actually did get food. Self-fine insurance, Dad. I'm going on a date with Neuter. You can go on a date with Dad anytime. I think the important part to remember is that Elmer is mad at Bugs. It's okay, accidents happen, which explains you. I love Kel and Bud abusing each other. Just, yeah, anytime. And there's a Rottweiler. Good, then it's still around here. Dear Daddy, due to circus dances. Well, I went to the nurse/hot dog lady. Did you know relish increases clotting? Just a few billion. Well, well, the worm has turned. Is it packing an Uzi? It'd be about effing time, sir. And the Terminator vision. It's been so long. I thought Cool Bud took over. Throwing meat in the car and letting Cujo loose on them? And Terminator vision for Al, too. Now, Pumpkin, before you drive a car, you need to be covered. Isn't that up to the guy, Dad? I'm talking about car insurance, you little... Why don't you buy us a new car, Dad? Why didn't I think of that? New cars for everybody. You registered our car as a farm vehicle? I'm not surprised. He registered the Dodge as a pull toy. Ah, children. What the hell? Wolfen. Let me tell you something about sharing. Don't do it. Nothing good ever comes out of sharing. Your mother and I shared a bed and nothing good ever came out of it. Maybe that's because nothing good ever went into it. I'm so hungry I could eat a vegetable. It's in and it's staying in. Yeah, I've heard that before. So, that island that you own, is it near the beach? In a manner of speaking, yes, Kelly, yes. Jefferson, tell them what they can get for $800. Well, for $800 you can get a nice car. Really, Mr. Darcy? You know where we can get a car for $800? At the auto auction where they sell cars they've confiscated from criminals and drug dealers. Of course, the cars have some minor problems like bullets hole in the trunk. But you don't seem to mind riding in the Dodge. There's no bullet holes in... And... Let's see... Did you buy the kids a car, Al? Don't touch my car. I don't know where your hands have been. In that case, you shouldn't be sitting in it. Yes, I did. And as you can see, all of my worries about them fighting were unfounded. On the upside, however, I did get them to knock off $100. Why pay for seatbelts if you don't have brakes? I thought that was parking for the homeless. That is, yeah. Does your date mean more to you than my happiness? A milkshake means more to me than your happiness. But if she gets an island, you won't see her again. But of course she would be happy. Take my wife, please. This is ranked 27. I put it in the top 25, definitely. I forget who, but someone did recently point out that in the 90s and early 2000s, a guy being mistaken as gay was seen as like the last thing any straight man would ever want. So, yeah, excuse me, this fits with that. So obviously, we'll be egging the Miller house. He's a Jehovah's Witness, and I just want him to know what it feels like for a change. And Kel is going his bag. Go away. Quiet, Buck, and he barks, which he almost never does. Halloween's gotta be the worst day of the year. No, Al, it really is death. And the Grim Beeper. Oh, sorry, again, those two are supposed to be separate. Al has a death wish. That's so selfish. He should direct it towards others. It's like Al does do a pretty good death. Man, that side looks fake. I like Death's low chuckles. Remind me of Dexter's Massacre. Here, smell. And Death dances too. And Al tries to finish himself off with gas. Wackiness increasing. Hey, sorry about the Dodge out front. Why, did you hit it? No, I'm just sorry about it. How'd you do that? I'm deaf. It's the first thing they teach you in deaf school. Gotta have a gimmick. Anytime between now and midnight, if any member of your family says that they need you in any way, I'll let you live. All my family has to do is say they need me? That's right. Just once. Just once. Oh, in that case, I'll go pack my suitcase. Scared single. This is ranked 32nd, I'd say top 25 is where it belongs. Are You Dead 42? Call for and stays crunchy in milk. The South shall rise again. Man, she really is crazy. Or this one? Or this one? Thanks. It's much easier to fill this out with a light on. And Al immediately starts eating Aaron's lunch. As sexist as the jokes around her are, Angie delivers a great performance. It's okay. I was talking to Oprah. Thumbelina! And she somersaults away. They really do sometimes do really great physical performances. I mean, a lot of, maybe not sitcoms, but certainly, well, yeah, would like cut away, and it would be like really obviously a stunt double and then cut back, but nope, that was definitely Christina Applegate doing it. And Meg is genuinely a black peg. And again, a great performance. She sells it in the immensely short screen time she gets. Peg, Bud. Man, do I have good news. Al, aren't you forgetting someone? Oh, Peg, she's nuts. Nuts or not, she is still our daughter. Oh, alright, Peg. Hi, Pumpkin. Isn't that cute? I used to call her Pumpkin, now she is one. No, ma'am. Oops. There we go. And this is ranked 26th, I'd say top 25. He's keeping his butt covered. I wish Al would. Poor Al, losing almost nothing to those who have almost nothing. The first words out of the poet's mouth were as welcome as to the guys as communism has won. Love her performance. She sells that poem. You take your pants off? How do you get them over your shoes? And I honestly, I had forgotten how sexist and misogynist this episode is, but it's still really funny. We could change our name to that. I love Marcy's takedown of Al. And they really will change their name to Cat. You need us more than we need you. Mic drop. And the moment Marcy gets there, Al gets all tongue-tied. And, the moment men start losing a little bit of what we love, a civil rights movement forms and a bunch try to take away what little women do have. And when women get even a little many men feel like they lose a ton. And when this came out, and before and since, a lot of men felt the things that No Ma'am says in this, and a bunch would put it in TV shows. So I love that here, they do let them say it, but they also make the men so incompetent, so bad at hiding their identities, and they get their dumb asses arrested. If Al had just accepted it, he wouldn't have to suffer through my eggs, night after night. And yes, he throws eggs. I wish he didn't. But do note that he'll probably be punished for that as well. They could have just, like, they do start with just calling into the show. And they do get, Al does get to say some things on air that he believes. It gets argued against, but he does get to say it. But that's not good enough. So he goes and breaks the law, basically kidnapping him and, you know, captured, taking him as a hostage, I guess, is the, you know, and taking over the show. And the, you know, instead of just doing it in a way that didn't break the law, now, you know, now he gets himself into so much more pain than if he had just done it in a more, in a legal way, or just accepted that, you know, yeah, let's see, what was it? The bowling night, the and the was maybe a show either taken off air or replaced by something else, and then the nudie bar, I think, were the three things. You know, that's not the end of the world, but to Al it is. He can't imagine anything worse, and so it gets worse. This is the first of 14 appearances of Al's No Ma'am organization. I forgot it was this late into the show. I consider them such a big part of the show, and like, you know, seasons 8, 9, 10, 11, only these 4 seasons. Yeah, out of 11. So like a third of the, yeah. And, you know, and the IMDb Goofs section lists as a factual error that Al supports his claim that 1952 was a great year for America by mentioning that Ike was in the White House. While Dwight D. Eisenhower was elected President of the United States in November of 1952, he did not actually take office until January 20th of 1953. I would say it's supposed to be a character error, not a factual error. Al's stupidity on this is part of the point. You know, even something like that, he idolizes Eisenhower. We see, you know, in a later episode in this season when he's testing Jefferson for the CIA thing, he keeps bringing up Eisenhower as the one, you know, and yet he doesn't even know that. He gets such a, like, if Eisenhower's the only president he cares about, how can he not even, I get this is before being able to look it up on Wikipedia, but, you know, there are places to get, you know, before Wikipedia, there was such a thing as encyclopedia, you know, and I get that they probably don't have one in the house, but the library is where Al, yeah, he's still not allowed to get books from there, is he? But nevertheless, there are ways for him to find out, yeah. And in response to your don't talk after sex demand, the only reason why we ask to talk after sex is so we can know when you're finished. And if what you say is true that we women spend so little time in the kitchen, how come you men spend so much time in the bathroom? And the, you know, the good movie and TV series references with, I don't think we're in Kansas anymore, and quiet Klingon. Dances with Weezie. I think that's how you pronounce it. I never watched that show. All I know about it is the theme song. This is ranked 91. I'd placed in the top 90. Honestly, I expected Kel to not understand that her goldfish had died, or I don't know, maybe something was cut from my version where she did express that. Even Buck didn't want the show. I love Marcy talking white. Dimensionally challenged, bud. Score more than once per season. And then they argue about Bugs and Daffy. When they were conceived, and the husband swapped places with the Bundy kids. Why doesn't every tuxedo made tear apart that easily? Why are you two introducing yourselves to each other? Hello, Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms? I have an alcohol question. Who was in the very first light beer commercial? I say it was Bubba Smith, but I have a friend who thinks it was... Hello? He seriously thought that that was like a hotline for that kind of, yeah, that's again American conservative male. When he hears, you know, Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms, he figures that it's a hotline for like questions about those. Let's see. Change for a buck. And this is ranked 247th. It's not the best, but I still enjoyed it a lot. Yeah, I still loved the episode. More buck, and it's Cheech. Awesome. Much like the boy, Al doesn't even notice Buck's not on the floor. And the boxer sounds just like Mike Tyson. And a lawyer dog. That soon? Hey. And Al put them all to sleep. Cats to tree. Ah, making it a verb. I like that. I was out walking Buck. Man, they really are blind. That I was buck naked. Who cares? We want him back. I love Kel crying and crying more as the others try to make her feel better. The Lord is my German Shepherd. I am such a mark for jokes like that. And they still can't see Buck. And trivia points out this was the first episode where the TV wall was shown, always before the studio audience and camera's POV came from that direction, so that wall was never shown. And yeah, makes a lot of sense. A little off the top. This is ranked 127th. It's definitely top 125 for me, and yeah, probably even top 100. It's the only time he can still go deep. You say that as if it wasn't always. Excuse me. Al comes home with a broken back. Help get his ass on the couch before he crashes out. But then again, up the stairs, wherever they are. Oh right, this was back when people could afford health care. A hearse may be in order. 30 days is nothing. I've gone as far as, she almost got you. Because we never fixed the step. Then again, I've been asking for years. The one time they care about what happened to Al, they can't ask him. For some odd reason. I do. She really thinks that the quiz is helping him. And the raised hand. Hey, Stubby. Was of no use to you. A full lobotomy. I like that joke, but that's gotta be like an alternative joke. I am almost 100% certain that the one I've heard is a full castration. Maybe a synonym for castration, maybe not literally that, but yeah. Sometimes I have to. Sometimes I like it. A stitch. Love that sound effect too. Great work on that sound guy. Gee, it's only the 10th of the month. And some of the ceiling comes down from the sex. You know, it did last long. Excuse me, Mrs. Bundy, but something horrible has happened to your husband. Marcy, can I call you back? She says no, and can you speak louder? There is some good news. He's alive. Well, how alive? Can he walk? Can he talk? Will he ever be able to work again? He's a shoe salesman, Miss Bundy. We could replace his brain with a sock full of popcorn. He would still be able to work again. See, this is one of those unfortunate accidents due to simple human error. It seems our surgical team misread your doctor's instructions. It said to give him a circular incision. So how could you misread that? We gave him a Circumcision. Okay. I love Marcy's laugh through the phone. That's one of the funniest in the whole show. And again, this is, it's one of those wacky things. And I remember reading a review that didn't quite like the wacky things as much as the earlier, more down to earth. And I understand that. I respect his opinion, but just, I'm sorry, that's one of the funniest. The fact that it happened and all the follow-up jokes about it, and just, yeah. The Worst Noel. This is ranked 147th, and I would definitely say it belongs in the top 150. Another great Christmas episode. That movie really is everywhere on Christmas. If a really cool watch had fallen off the truck. I was saving up for a bullet. Did Chris Rock manage to push through bullet control? Damn carolers. Damn shame about that party. In defense of all women everywhere, men are also terrible at channel hopping, which is an awful activity even by yourself. Why did you pull on the rope that way? And Kellen's crying. I love Bud's very wily coyote uh-ohs. Gee, what does that remind you of? I am too. It's a Hitler Christmas. I love the country music samples, so deliciously, utterly terrible. I'll go do it. You bought us a record? That's what we did. And Bud, Merry Christmas. And it got scratched as pre-MP3 player recorded music was wont to do. And IMDb Trivia points out that the plot happens in real time, and Ed O'Neill breaks the fourth wall by looking at the camera and stating that he hates the following commercial. What does Cheers have to do with Christmas? What does NBC have to do with television? Oh, look, It's a Wonderful Life. Peg, I hate this movie. How can you hate It's a Wonderful Life? Because it's a horrible life. You know the reason they never made a sequel? Because when the guy came back, he killed himself. And this time, he took that angel with him. Well, we can take it upstairs and hide it in one of our rooms. Oh, no problem. Just lets me eat me spinach. We wouldn't be having this problem if we just had used the seesaw. We wouldn't be having this problem if Dad had used a condom. So far, so good. I guess. So far, so good. I like the pun. This is ranked 200th. Maybe around there. My masseuse is just leaving. Good cover. Do we have the Wanker translation book, English to gibberish? Damn, this fever. Subtle. Yes, you're coming down with me to Wanker County. What if you said you were on fire? Either way, it doesn't matter to me. That's the one. But Kel, you can't read. Well, you can't score, but you still have a bed. Some of us have moved on. Bud, you smell good. What's wrong? What a sweet moment. Okay, he's gone. Ah. And he drops the cigar into the couch. And it cost him the use of his pants. See ya. I think I can. Is my couch okay? Love hearing about the sports in Wanger County. Peg, to serve man, it's a cup. Accident my ass. They skinned me alive, Peg. Actually, they're in the making false compartments in the furniture business. Besides, I don't know where you got the idea I have a couch. Wow. Not there. Not there. Kind of short here without a silver bullet. Well, how can I insult you? We missed you too, Mom. Talking to the couch here, Cal. And she gave away the bed, and they just left it gone. And Al and Peg just laid down and didn't notice it was gone. Oh, I do love me the wacky. Bud, Mom and Dad are coming home tomorrow. Is there any way that I can talk you into taking full blame for this? Sure, if you can get me a woman who won't say no. So there's no way. I didn't have anything to do with this. I was out with a girl. And do you really think they're going to believe that? Oh, please let this be easy. Please, please, please. This is not going to be easy. This may come as a surprise to you, but your couch wasn't exactly a popular item. How many were made? 1,500? 2. How many did they sell? 1. Great. Then all we have to do is find the one they sold. How hard could that be? I'm okay. Boy, when your looks go, you're dead. You're dead. Kelly, I cannot help but feel that in some small way this is my fault. What a Mormon. If we're going to get a new couch, we need a picture of the old one. Good idea. You're a genius. And she takes a picture of it burnt. Now what? Now we send this to Ripley's along with your picture. I meant a picture before the fight. I was getting kind of bored out there, so I took some pictures. This one's from the house across the street. Where the hell does she find these guys? You know, that's the sort of crack that would have made the old Kelly call you a rubber-loving Barbie thumper. You want to see teenage girls ride up and down escalators wearing very short skirts? You go to a mall. Ah, he goes to the mall for the same reason Roy Moore does. Honey, it blew up myself. And this is ranked 54th, and I would say it's definitely about top 50. Hey, I just thought Roman candles meant they were imported. I can't tell. It's either that or there's a new... And it's the same thing as he's always wearing. Both of them are. Okay, but I don't know how much that's gonna do. And she literally exchanges their 2 ties for each other and then gleefully hands the... I mean, it was worth a shot. You know, Kelly realized that's probably not going to do much good, but Bud's the smart one. Okay, let's, yeah. I think it was Bud who suggested, yeah. Seagal does look really sexy in that photo. I love the going through the compliments. And they bought shirts just like the one he's wearing. And Fang. I love Marcy using violence against Al at the podium. And I do wish that he was interrupted while saying all the really sexist, misogynist stuff at the podium. And they got him pants just like the ones he's already wearing. But Al, these ones might be clean, which I suppose might not be a benefit in his opinion. At least you didn't sing happy birthday to me. I hate that. Nothing to do but stand there looking like an idiot until the damn thing is finished. I wouldn't get through the day without someone saying happy birthday to me. I am so with Al on that. It's amazing. Dad's looks and Buck's brains. At least I never tried to date one of my plastic toys. How green was my apple? And this is ranked number 87, and I agree. This is another one of my absolute favorites. Al, please don't call police! Well, at least don't tell them you're Al Bundy here. Again, that's the American conservative male. Yeah, in a nutshell. I love Al's reaction to Jefferson with the apple. It looks like it's his firstborn being thrown away. At least the fence stayed up, which is more than I can say for the foreman. Welcome to Bundyana. You should have given them the apple, Jefferson. Ultimately, neighbors have to respect each other, their property, their needs, etc., or this sort of thing happens. Not this extreme in real life, but you get my point. This episode is a really good demonstration of the average American man's expectation that things belong to him, even, maybe especially, if someone else wants it or claims ownership of it. And the toll booth. $1,500. Exact change, please. I can't stand the little cretin. What you talking about, Bundy? Oh, hell. Now I have to find myself. Does your son still have that rocket? Why wouldn't he? Again, just absolutely love the wacky. And they immediately fight over the new apple. Having learnt nothing. That driveway out there, as you can see, is built nowhere up to its code. I made it out of ground-up women's shoes. So, how much is the fine? Well, since you turned yourself in, I'll let it go at $100. I see. What if I said I made it that way just to make you look like an idiot? Then that would be $1,500. What if we called you a moron to boot? $2,000. Are you sure you're not Gary Coleman from Different Strokes? No, I am not. Good, I hated that show. $5,000. And again, I mean, I've only seen Gary Coleman in, this and his Simpsons guest spot and this kind of thing. He does really sell it. Yeah. Well, there's probably a lesson to be learned from all this. I'll be damned to know if I know what it is. Valentine's Day Massacre. That is a dark title. And this is ranked 72, and I would have to agree with that. And she opens it, then holds it up to the light. No? Okay. Yeah, he wants Emperor Crystal to bite him. I love the doorman. So much taller than Bud. Now, you have 3 seconds to announce me. It's Bud Bundy. You should maybe have been a little bit more specific, Bud. And the prices for even basic Valentine's Day products really does skyrocket close to Valentine's Day. And Bud dresses up as room service. Very hitman of him. And we have a rape joke. And at least the third joke about selling blood to get by. They really like that joke. And Jane Lynch. And Bud lures doorman. Very stealth game again. Bud, ask who you're speaking to before you go that far down. Get out of Dodge. And this is ranked 38th, and I agree. Dodgenstein, made from the dead parts of other Dodges. And then her slapping his face starts up the music, and it plays I'm Just a Lonely Boy. I realized that means they used that twice. I'd actually forgotten, but they used that twice within, what, 15 episodes? I can live with that. And the Dodge couldn't make it to the top. I cannot believe she didn't follow that up with, it was like being in the bedroom or something. You know, again, maybe there's like a different version or something, yeah. I will say the lines about how bad the car is and then was after she tells him to sell it are hilarious. It's like giving up one of the children, but none of the joy. I don't think you can get dollars. And it's kind of racist with the Muslim extremists. If they showed a ton of other characterizations of Muslims, I wouldn't consider it racist. Hi, I'm looking for a man named Daddy. Oh boy, I thought this house looked familiar. A Dodge could drive a million miles. It's only got 2 seats. What about the kids? It's got a trunk. So, much like in bed, Al wants to get it over with as quickly as possible. You don't need to do that. Come, my children, and Kelly, because we're family, damn it. So are the Jacksons. I'll fight crime. I was gonna say, if you're gonna call yourself Viper Man, you have to. And Kel did find Waldo. I love that it isn't acknowledged by anyone. He says nothing. No one says anything about him. He just sits there looking Waldo-y. Just, yeah, again, and this is, it's the kind of thing you could easily remove that joke and it wouldn't really affect anything, but just the idea that somehow, by virtue of her looking so intently everywhere, somehow Waldo, you know, became a real person, you know, and and just followed Kel home because that's, you know, she was like, I found you now, you have to come with me, and he came with her, and just, and also they really found someone who can sell the Waldo look. There's a New Mexico? Somebody called the police. We got a call about a shooting. I did, but I lied. See, I need someone to guard the Dodge, and a cop is cheaper than a Doberman. Excuse me, I may need both hands to pound this guy to hash, but if you ever take a shot at my partner again, you're going in. A 1994 Dodge Viper. Oh, yeah. I'll drive out Al Bundy, old Dodge owner, but I'll drive back in Al Bundy, Viper Man. But on the downside, you'll still be Al Bundy. But I'm telling you, I am on top of the world with this car. You can ask anybody on the bus how happy I am. Mr. Bundy, I'm Bill Ellis from the Dodge Corporation. We just need to verify a couple of things about your ad. Listen, I know what you're going to say, but it wasn't my fault. I clearly told them, seat, comma, then belts. Oh, that's not important. I didn't think so either. Come on in. How did he finally stop? Well, luckily there was a brand new foreign car parked outside, which had finally been fixed but never driven. Well, I guess it's good to get that first broadside out of the way. Now a little music to help pass the time. And that's when my hound dog started looking good to me. I was the genius to let West Virginia become a state. Hi, we're a couple of winos. We don't want to drink and drive, so we want to buy the Dodge. Here's your $40. 40? It was supposed to be 4,000. Hey, we're not that drunk. But you don't understand. I've got a terrible feeling something's going to happen to my Dodge. Al, We've known each other, what, 7, 8 years? I've arrested you, what, 11 or 12 times? You're loading my pants, you know that, Al? No one wants your crummy car. No one even believes this house is occupied. Now either go to bed or let me blow you away so I can go to bed. On second thought, I gotta go. I might have left something at the donut shop. Damn, how could you possibly forget to eat a donut once it was in your hand? Daddy, I need your help. Listen, I'm hot on the trail of some weird guy named Waldo. Have you seen him? She's gonna be with us till we die, you know. And so should the car? But what if your sister comes in? I wouldn't worry about her. I've given her a little task. Waldo? Okay, he's not in the garage, that much we know. Reminds me of that meme where the Taken speech plays out and then good luck is said by Waldo. And you just keep looking, Kelly. You're doing a great job. I know. Maybe he's upstairs. Maybe so, maybe no. That's what makes finding Waldo such a great game. Yeah, well, he can't run. He can run, but he can't hide. 'Cause no one can outsmart me once I start using the old gray mattress. And the person who submitted that quote to IMDb here chose to write a description that I'm going to choose to read out loud, even though I almost never do this. Tapping the side of her head where her brains are supposed to be. Wow. That's my sister. She's very special. Now, when you say special, $50 for a Dodge? What about my mental suffering? Oh, you say that's a major part of the $50. Field of Screams. And this is ranked 148, and I agree with that. How new is it? So new it hasn't even been tested on unsuspecting American citizens yet. And book after the poison gas. Isn't this a great country? This country sucks, Peg. Conservatives. Life 50, Al 0. Al is the first word in Alamo. And alimony. And illiterate. I mean, it's been a whole week, and look how much better Buck is getting. And Buck's a turkey, or Berkey. I sure hope this crap wears off before Thanksgiving. Then I'll be sleeping at Cindy's. Good thinking on the change in location, but if I were you, I wouldn't risk sleeping even there. I'm not sure why I was born. I'm not sure where you were born. But let some moron hit an ice skater in the knee and a million reporters show up. Well, I thought selling out to the highest bidder was our heritage. It was bright and shiny and she liked it. The Bugmobile. Could you maybe back up the jar a little? Did I say 6? I must have meant 5. But a key isn't money, is it, sweetheart? All we have to do is take the lock, put it on the tracks, squish that too, and then the key should fit. For like a fraction of a second, you think that at least she means that'll break the lock. No, she means that then the key will fit. I cannot get enough of stupid Kelly. And once again, I would be laughing just as hard if it was a male character who was stupid. Although, I suppose, Unhappily Ever After is maybe a counter-argument to that. Stand on the railroad tracks and try to get them to bring the train over here. And she 100% believes that, yeah. If you see a bug with 3 6s on its belly, run for your life. Alrighty, plow 'em under. Sure, but I just had my car detailed, so get in the trunk. The rare poisonous ping beetle, and Kel looks so guilty and scared. And Al is in a bubble, ecstatic that he won. And that's Julie Benz as Sasha. She eventually left the convent and had 2 kids with a man that made her miss the convent. That really, I remember the exchange, but, you know, this is the first time I've watched the episode since watching Dexter. And, you know, the same thing happened the first time I watched, the first time I rewatched Punisher Warzone after having watched a lot of Dexter. I completely forgot that it was Julie Benz playing the role. I think she does great in all 3. Ow, those insect bites you have are awful. I hope he doesn't make it. I just hope he doesn't make a testicle out of himself. You mean spectacle, honey? No, I mean testicle. I'm used to the spectacle thing. The Darcy Files. And this is ranked 33, and I agree. Which I did not mean to rhyme. Of course it wasn't sex with a peg that Al was excited about. There was a button in the trailer. And Kel actually turns around and covers her eyes. Their business idea is basically IRL Photoshop, which isn't too bad of an idea. Was it something Peg did? Ah, conservatives. Well, wow, odd that the owner would be at the game. Look, my real name isn't Michael Vaughn, I mean Jefferson Darcy. And the first time the CIA background comes up, and she goes through all the stages and moments. It's not like he's gonna come through the window and get you, and then knock at the window. Yeah, wow. And the electrocution prank was pretty funny. Going by those pictures, they already did have Photoshop back then. It looks like the work of that Photoshop troll guy. I forget what his name is. And Al is far more upset that Peg is annoying him than that she has a horrible toothache. And once again, very conservative. But I suppose other people do it as well. Al doesn't know any other president than Eisenhower. Not even Reagan. And if you put the N where the D is, I'm a bunny. What's your point? And you know what the bad news is? That it's too late to adopt the Menendez boys. Hey, buddy. That's Bunny with 2 N's. That is a great April Fool's, although it, of course, turns out not to be an April Fool's. And Al is a sore loser, of course. And Jefferson did have Walter killed. And we could hear her scream despite him not being near a microphone because fiction. Hey now, if you're a cop, I don't talk to the law. I don't listen to the law. I don't watch LA Law. Let's see. I forget his name, but I figure the Darkman 1 and 2 villains probably upset somewhere. Nooner or later. This is ranked 25th, and I agree. Now, Wikipedia lists this as Nooner or nothing, but both IMDb and MyDisc call it Nooner or later, so that's what I'm going with. Nooner or nothing makes sense from a story perspective. Nooner or later is a play on words, so both are fine titles. Great performances by the overweight girl and her mother. I did notice, as I had read in a review, that there are now more jokes at the expense of women and less at that of men. Grab a seat, have something to eat, have yourself, it's alright. And the band's called Burn Beyond Recognition. Ah, pay-per-view. You know where the end of the line is? Past that. Past that. Wow. Cal honestly thought he had beans in his hand. And Bud loses third place in line. Great background gag of Dexter being resuscitated. Pocketed. I bet he's never been to Tahiti either. And the people behind them immediately cut in line. Yeah, and we're writing a screenplay. What's it about? And Bud ragdolls through the air. We still have 3 minutes left. We can do it 6 times. And after all of that, the kids don't get BBR tickets. And they don't get Alan Pegs, who don't get to go to Tahiti. And according to IMDb, the girl who gets Bud to give her his place in line for the Burn Beyond Recognition concert is an almost unrecognizable, Fergie of the Black Eyed Peas. And this was the sole episode to feature Al's shoe store assistant Dexter. So I guess he really did die. That's, yeah. I got us backstage passes. All I had to do was trade places with some guy. Kelly, these are bus transfers. You're going on an Autobot bus? Bot. Yeah. Hey, not only can we get backstage, we have a way to the concert. You can't be this dumb. I can be anything I want to be. It's the 90s. Wow. Yeah, like you had anything better to do than dunk your girlfriend in water and see where she leaks. Hey, at least she has an excuse for having it in her head. That is, if I had a rubber girlfriend. Which I don't. Not anymore. Ride scare. This is ranked 248. Yeah, I put it around there. A sign that says over 2 pairs sold. I mean, if you put up a sign like that, you'd have to update it when at least 1 more pair is sold. So it'll actually last quite a long time. What did we take the country from the Indians for if we're not going to use it? One giant bus that all of us take to work together. Wait a second, that was a shot at me. Yes, typical conservative male can't handle not driving alone in his car, which is probably an SUV, just so he can drive an SUV even though he's alone in it. Now, Kel's raised, that they care about. Holy crap, Alan Peg are stupid. And awful parents. He's just kidding about the shower. Fat-shaming overload. Again, good performances from the overweight women. And the garbage cheer from the Indian ad. Whoa, that was a big word. There are no big words, just little heads. And Al litters. And suddenly Al likes them. You swine. Did you? Love the softly psychopathic look in her eyes and tone in her voice. Yes, son, but a rich lying bag of sleaze. Yep, the American dream. Al gets it. Do you vote? No. Then I wasn't talking to you. What the hell do you think we are? And Al puts on the tear. No, Pumpkin, I was gonna say I lost my mind. So I don't get my 15 minutes of fame. That just means Pauly Shore gets a half hour. And the water in the fountain is brown. You know, if that was Al's tap, he'd be fine with it, according to an earlier episode. I guess last season was when that happened. Now, and the missing child on the milk carton is 7. And when we had one hand on the woman, one hand on the wheel, one hand on the stick. That's what I liked about the old days. We had more hands. Okay. Let's see. Legend of Ironhead Haynes. This is ranked 246th. I place it higher by at least 50. And I don't really know the Ironhead Haynes guy, but, you know, I get that he's a big deal to people who care about the thing that he's involved in. Well, she didn't leave it to us. They're shutting down the plumbing? Hundreds and hundreds of loose change. I love the look on Marcy's face as she baits him. Calorically challenged. And another great performance by an overweight woman. Yep, Kel's right about the football. How very the room. I meant take out the trash, and they speed off. Real, live, dead dinosaurs. Don't eat the croissant. And he's Moses. And the commandments. And after all of that, they dump the commandments for fire, losing seemingly permanently the commandments that were so important to them, just because they didn't want to even temporarily give up their possibly easily replaceable porn, unless they were old issues. And the end credits, you see he did find the fridge. I hate those little complaint boxes outside the mall. Let's see. You must be Ironhead Haynes. Yep. And you must be some idiot that doesn't know there's a road leading up here from the other side of this mountain. These are your 10 commandments. Oh, that's only 9. These are your 9 commandments. Not as funny a commandments joke as, I want to say it's History of the World Part 1, where Mel Brooks comes down from the mountain and is like, these are your 15 commandments, and he drops and it breaks. These are your 10 commandments. Just the notion that all these, you know, ever since Moses came down. Yeah, I think it was Moses. Yeah, I'm not that. I forget names from the Bible. You know, he, after all this, you know, all this time, ever since he came down from Mount Sinai, that's what it's called, isn't it? That's, yeah, I don't know nothing about the Bible. You know, ever since then, there have been 5 commandments that all the Christians didn't even know about, that they've potentially been breaking all this time. That cracks me up. Assault and batteries. This is ranked 51st, and I agree. I absolutely love this episode. One of my absolute favorites. I love Al worrying about missing Hondo and then actually missing Hondo. My, the clouds are looking fluffy today. I think God disagrees with you. And Al slams the door. What an ass. All he had to do was say he was going with Jefferson for emotional support or something. Just, yeah, the idea, that's really, really funny. The idea of, like, Jefferson being, you know, taken in, they cut him open for his appendix. It's entirely possible that he already had his appendix removed. I have to wonder if they would stick one in there and sew him back up just out of spite. Like during sex? And Bud closes the door, pushing Al down the stairs again. God, that would make him 10 years old. And they wanted to neuter me. Yay, Cheech, Marin, Buck. This episode was originally presented in 3D, so the episode just said that the glasses you're wearing are annoying and make you look stupid. And she has 4 full cards. Very me, myself, and Irene. Why didn't Marcy respond, "Look who's talking about the hair"? Confederate money. Marcy is so right. It's obnoxious waiting line already. Don't have people use other options. And then, of course, she does the, yeah. And she has huge penny jars, too. And computers down. You can't add. Good career choice. And the door won't open. Computer controls them, too. Call 911. K911. No, not the disc of death! I love Cheech Marin Buck. I mean, I don't... The regular Buck is also great, but Cheech Marin especially, he just, yeah. I love him in Robert Rodriguez directed movies as well, including From Dusk Till Dawn, where they gave him 3 roles, and just awesome at all 3. And the computer expert can't get in, and he's 8. I did. I love the image of Kel with a frisbee stuck in her mouth. Well, I'll be damned. Sexist as it is, the image of Peg driving the whole clothes rack by is hilarious. I guess I'm gonna need some cans. Yeah, next thing you know, he'll be out behind the barn with his wooden woman. And the pre-TV TV. It's a computer. Don't be ridiculous. Computers in the Wild West? Clearly that thing is from the Stone Age. It's pretty ironic to be watching an episode decrying computers on a DVD on a computer. Next time I'm bringing music. And Bundo. And it bounces back onto his head. And that's the conclusion of the Western classic Hondo. Join us February of 2011 for the next showing. Which actually means that if Al just hadn't thrown the what was it, register, I think, specifically, he might have made it to Hondo. It was only because it knocked him out, and then he only came to, because he did get back out. And I do also just love that image, him throwing it, and you really, for a second there, you almost forget what show you're watching. You almost think he's gonna manage to break the glass, but no, it's that kind of glass, and it bounces back, hits him on the head. And again, if this were a realistic show by this point, he would probably be dead, not just knocked out for, what was it, 90 minutes or something. Oh wait, no, 90 minutes was for when it started, so... But had there already been a transition? I forget. But yeah, I don't know how long that movie is. I guess maybe 3 hours or something total he was knocked out. And apparently the 3D glasses were selling for 35 cents. Why'd they change that? Yeah, it was a worse kind of 3D, obviously. And in the Western story scene that Al narrates to the supermarket customers, Peggy is looking at a box with a rabbit sitting on top of it, which she believes will one day have little people inside. And that is a television. The rabbit on the box is a reference to early TVs having aerials that were referred to as rabbit ears. Okay, Al, I got your batteries. Peg, these are A's. I needed D's. A's, D's, what's the difference? They're too small. Then use a lot of them. And again, yeah, why not a joke? Yeah, they're too small. You should be used to that, something like that, It wouldn't be the first time they made a joke like that. There's the thing with, did you miss me, honey? with every bullet so far. Maybe you need a bigger gun. Not that I don't love your itty-bitty one, you know, so, yeah. Oh, look, Al, they're doing a full house in 3D. Is the third dimension the funny one? Peg, don't worry, Peg. I'm not going to be having a good time. I'll just see what I can in the dark. Ah, like during sex. No, Peg, I can't fake fixing a step. Let's do something nice for him. What can we do? Food would be nice. I know. Let's take him out for some exercise. Oh, good. The very thing you need food for. Let's see. Yeah, the first bee. Oh, look at his eyes light up. I'd tear out both of their hearts if my teeth weren't in a glass in my doghouse. Oh, come on. She's never going to get that frisbee to fit in there. Well, I'll be damned. Al goes deep. And this is ranked 218. I'd say top 200 at least. To an 18th. Put a wanker in your mouth. And Al can barely lift her bonbon at all. And it takes forever to eat. Yo, Paperboy, I was going to ask where you thought you'd find someone, but there you go. It's the only one I have an answer to, son. I am what happens to them. Exactly. I swear I'd already written this segment in my notes of the review, which is coming up, before rewatching this episode. And it wasn't because I just remembered it from this episode. The secret to good courtship is mutual sniffing of butts. Today's biology. No offense, Bud. And he pushes Bud right out the door. Oh, Pumpkin. Oh, Chad. Oh, no. I love caffeinated Marcy. Fitting that I just rewatched Hoodwinked. And Marcy's chopping wood. I love caffeinated Buck. I'm gonna kill him. I'm gonna get another sleep. Yeah, but in his defense, he wasn't aiming for the toilet. Maybe I'll be a veteran. It's not veteran. It's vegetarian. Kel ruined 3 Kennedys. They're everywhere. I see them driving. I see them walking. She's so chipper. I'm going to hold my breast until I turn blue. She did actually try that in an earlier episode. You're going to be kibble, Al. 3. Good behavior. I love the fall in love music fizzling out. That's my evil giraffe Gonsar. And Jefferson grabs Chad's broken arm. Well, I'm going to Disneyland. At tomorrow's football game, there's going to be a small group of very powerful men there who will not breathe easy until Chad's team wins the game. Well, maybe if they used both nostrils, wouldn't they breathe easier in the first place? Chad, are you alright? Say something. I think I broke my arm. Say something else. I know I broke my arm. New plan. Stop saying anything at all. And finally, Kelly knows something. This is ranked 81st, and I pretty much agree with that. Joke found in Howie Mandel's act. And more Psychodad. I love Al singing along poorly to the Psychodad themed lyrics. And the TV dies. 20 years later and the damn thing's broken. Such a dad thing. Like that joke about how years of the remote working starts to, the batteries eventually start to die, and he's like, stupid lousy piece of crap. I love how rude they are during the rehearsal. Do you want me to pretend I have to think about these? Neither spitting for distance. Well, obviously Al knows that. If he thought it was, he would be a career athlete. I love the montage of Al showing off. And again, some of it gets wacky. And of course, Al lost on personality. Again, the idiot is so proud of how he knows all this stuff that he doesn't stop to think maybe he should pretend to not be a complete a-hole because, people don't necessarily, not on quiz shows at least. If it was reality television, he'd be a shoo-in, as among others Trump has shown. And Kel instantly replaces Bud with the sex appeal line. It's very nice of them too to tell him exactly, he literally outlines, this is how you're gonna win the game. You just have to, yeah. And there we go. Okay. And she accidentally walks into the basement. Is she capable of, anything? And Bud is so upset by this son I always wanted comment. He practically collapses on the floor and sobs. I love Kel's focusing, trying to understand face. And the things she forgets. And her brain boils over like a kettle. I'm full. You gotta squeeze the buzzer, not jerk it. And great montage of the quiz proceeding. Let's rock. And Kel forgot the one thing she knew about sports before he taught her anything, in place of red squeeze buzzer. And the crowd chants Al's name, and in this one instance, that doesn't make him happy. Daddy, I can't go on a sports trivia show. I don't know anything about sports. So, you went to class every day and you don't know anything about school. Then how come they gave me one of those? Diploma? Yeah. Because you tried. Excuse me. It was a participation diploma. You have to understand, Kelly's brain can hold anything. But there are some things you have to know. One, it is totally empty. Wouldn't you know it? And two, you can't just shove information into her head. You have to be careful. Feed her information slowly, bit by bit, drop by drop, until she's full. Full? Oh yeah, Kelly's brain can actually get full with information. And then you gotta be really careful, because each new thought after that will totally replace an old one. Tell me everything you know about sports. I know that you scored 4 touchdowns in one game for Polk High. Daddy. That's right, what else? Golf spelled backwards is flog. Oh, this is going to take a lot of work. Now you know whose paycheck that's going to come out of? Kelly's. Damn right, if I wouldn't, I could find out where she hides her purse. Al, am I still getting some? No, Peg. In fact, I might just take some back. And we end the episode with more Psycho Dad. And now Kelly's into the show, too. She really is like the son Al always wanted. Oh, sorry, Bud. Bud, I better go take care of him. As always, hope you enjoyed the video. Please comment, thumbs up, and subscribe for more content.